Okay, so I changed my mind. Trunk deck alignment video coming your way because this trunk deck sucks. It doesn't line up. That's an original, I believe, 1967 Firebird trunk deck. The reason I'm thinking about using it, it has the holes, the word Pontiac on the back of it. And Louis, my buddy out there in Pennsylvania, did a video on recovering or rebuilding or restoring one of these trunk decks because they'll come that way anymore. You got to drill the holes in it. Even on the inside of the lip, there's little indentions or notches for the nuts to hold the letters on. So I guess trying to be original, save some bits and pieces, I'm going to try to salvage that trunk deck. But like I said in the previous videos, I use my body panels as alignment jigs or references when replacing lots of structural sheet metal because that's my way of knowing what it's going to look like when it's done. It's my favorite thing to say. So this is the why. But I'm going to show you what's going on with this trunk deck, the tools needed to get it straightened out, and get this thing dialed in before we start lobbing these quarter panels off of this car the rest of the way. Now, I'm going to move fast on purpose because, you know, those 30-foot, 40-foot paint jobs, look, gap looks great here, looks good there. Yep, that looks fantastic. Now let's do that a little bit slower. Look right here. My trunk deck is too low. I got the height back here where I need it to be, but this is too low, so I need this edge of the trunk deck to come up to match the quarter panel. Well, that keeps going even into the corner, the whole leading edge. As long as I keep the camera in focus, it is awful. You can see that step across that whole thing. That just isn't going to work for what we do here, because there's my straight edge. That's what I'm talking about. That is not good. I will promise you your reproduction trunk decks and the other original ones, you're going to need to do some fine tuning. This needs a whole lot of tuning, but it still gives you the same idea, even if you got to do some minor tweaking, how we go about it. So we got to bring it up. Now, there are some cases where the trunk deck, when it's shut, is too tall. So that's why I got two tools here. We're going to use this in a combination of sockets. We're going to use that to bring the edge of the trunk deck up to match the adjacent panels. And if we need to move it back down, that's what this guy right here is. It's a special tool I've had for many years. It's called a trunk aligner, part number go F something, I can't make it out, made in USA. So you know it's good. That is official, made in the USA right there. What we'll do in that case, you lay the piece of wood on, use the BFH, smack it, and you'll actually get the trunk deck edge to go down. We're not going to do that yet. I'm going to start working on bringing the front edge up. Then I suspect if I go too far or distort something, I can use that to put it back down. So I'm going to show you the process here, how to get this thing look a whole lot more gooder. Like I said, we're going to work on this leading edge first. My point of reference is awful. I'm going to start maybe in this corner and work my way across and see how it goes. But essentially, all we're going to use the hinges and this piece as a lever. We're just going to work this edge down. Figure out the best approach here. There we go. Now, if I can get this to show up in the camera, you'll see that front edge start to bow up, in particular right above the area that I'm working in. At least that's the hopes. Now, you're not going to get all the way there and move past. It's a slow work across the whole thing. I've split the difference some, but it just ain't moving yet. So maybe we'll go for a little bigger bite. Probably too big. Or is it? Put it up there. Not gonna be just too much. Getting a little aggressive with it there, but not loving it yet. Oh, look at that. If I can put this on her now, she's on the same plane. Now we're making some progress, but you get the idea. It's just a little trial and error. So the trunk aligner works for up and down in this situation. Oh, look at that. Now I've got it shut back here in the rear corner that you can't see on camera, but here. Got it shut here in the back. But now look at this gap across the front. Now I'm not going to get this 100% because I'm going to be cutting this thing apart. Things are going to change. These will not be original. So I'm going to need to manipulate it some. But my goal is when I put the new panels on, get it back to here though. So if I know where I'm supposed to be, I'll try to get it. But sometimes I haven't got experience replacing these panels, they just don't do what you want them to do. Then you have to do this thing, fudge it just a little bit. If my goal is to get it here, I want to start here. So this is looking pretty good all the way across until I get to this corner and that edge there. So keep doing the same thing. This might be too big for this. Or we go like this. You see the corner? Just right there, that one little spot. Oh, there we go. Money. Money. Now I'm a little high on the corner, but I'm still a little low through here. Okay, let me get you up close here. This looks 1,000% better. And you see that you watched it live, less than probably 2 minutes to get that squared away. Okay, maybe 3. I just checked the time. There, now, look at the gap, still stayed the same there. But now our elevation though between the two panels, we're on the same plane now. Looks really nice. Even here, where I had that step there before, and you can see just using a 2x4. That's all it's gonna take. Now this corner now is actually too high. So I'll use the trunk liner, 10,000. Lay this on the corner here like this, and drop the hammer on, and I should square that back up. Okay. Now the orange hammer is the one you want to use because it's got magic. It says like orange Mountain Dew, right? Okay. Got this edge where I want it, but it went down too low here. Again, I don't need to get this perfect. We're going to replace a lot of sheet metal. I just want to get it really close, but it's working out pretty good so far. That's the combination if you do both. Oh, now we're talking. Just a little high there in the corner. Look at that. Must have done this a time or two. Now I will show you this corner over here after doing the combination technique. And look at that. On the same plane now. Now the gap here gets a little wider, a little skinnier. Again, we're going to fine tune that when I cut that quarter panel off and quarter panel and the trunk jam out of it. We'll tweak this in the best we can, but now I have a good point of reference, so we'll proceed with cutting this apart and getting those new quarter panels hung. I want you to see this right here. It lays on the same plane, coming around, going. Really, really nice. You got to believe it because I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and you're checking it out too. Now we get to this corner here and all the way down the back of the car. Can't get much better than that. So there you go, little trunk deck alignment. Look at that, it even looks a whole lot more better even from here. We're on the same plane. Now, this is something you need to do before it's painted. As you can tell, that could tear that paint up inside the trunk jam, on the bottom of the trunk deck. This is why it's important is to test fitting the panels you plan to use, or why you go ahead and mock everything up prior to, because you're going to have fitment issues. I just pull one out of the box and make it work. The first go, super rare. The pumpkin, I hit a home run on that trunk deck. It was an AMD, dropped it right on the car. I think one super minor, like basically modification, and it lined up phenomenal. That is not the norm. This is what you're going to do most time with new or repop, just because these cars were just put together, age, 50 years of collision damage, people jumping on it, or heck, throw your girlfriend on the trunk deck. I'm not saying what happened, but things happen that's going to distort the metal. Anyway, that's all squared away. That's done. I'm working on more of the sheet metal. Got the firewall, all the front of it done. Back to here. work on this stuff right here. And I'll grab the camera and hope to see you all then.
Just like this man from Indiana doing show car restorations in his home. With just a 2-car garage, building cars and having fun, and he's old.